Welcome back students to this video series. Our today's topic would be telephone etiquettes. This is your instructor Ms. Dhruvi Bhatt, and today we would be talking about basic etiquettes. Okay, all of you are very well aware that what is meant by etiquettes. Etiquettes are set of general rules, norms or standards which should be followed by us human beings to be accepted in the society. Okay, there are different types of etiquettes which should be followed by us, like etiquettes when we are talking on a phone, etiquettes when we are sitting for a dinner, etiquettes when we are going to some foreign country to visit some foreign country on a business trip, etiquettes when some foreigner visits our country, etc. There are huge lot of etiquettes which should be followed in order to make sure that you very properly get accepted by the society as a good individual. Obviously, because we are not animals, we have some specific set of rules which needs to be followed. Today we would be talking about the first very important type of etiquettes, which is telephone etiquettes. Okay, before going into much details, let me share with you some of the oh my god facts. Okay, first and foremost, students, did you know on our planet more than 4 billion people use a telephone while only 3.5 billion people use a toothbrush? So lesser people brushing their teeth than calling others. Okay, so I just hope that they soon find an app with which you can brush your teeth. That is the only way that our dental hygiene can improve. Okay. One more fact for you students, did you know that we look at our phone, each and every person looks at their phone at least 300 times in a 24-hour period. Okay, that is too much. Next time you watch your phone, count it and tell me whether the fact is right or wrong. Okay, I just googled it, so you can leave it to me in comment section. Okay. Third fact is, did you know that there is a phobia related to telephones? Nomophobia is a phobia which is a fear of losing your phone, or fear of losing your phone or losing access to your phone. So, oh my god, I am very afraid if my phone gets locked up. Okay, that's nomophobia. Did you know that 48% of us use phones while sitting in loo? Okay, too dirty. And 35% of us, this includes me, 35% of us use their phones while they are going to sleep, use their phones while they are in their bed. Students, ideally you and me can be a part of this 35%. I too have this very bad habit. Scientists have proven that it is a very wrong habit and it can have very poor ill effects on your mental health if you use your phone before going to sleep. But we all have this very bad habit. I just browse through my phone, different apps, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or I just binge watch a series just before going to bed. This is a bad habit. You need to get rid of it. Let's hope, fingers crossed, together we will. 18% of the people use their phones on a romantic date. Okay, do not do this. Otherwise, you will find it hard to get a girlfriend. Okay, or a boyfriend. So, do not be a part of this 18%. Moving on, 70% of the people, 70%, it's so high, 70% of people use their phones while they are sitting for a meal, whether it is lunch or dinner. And that is why they cannot pay attention to whatever they are eating, which again leads to health problems. So many problems, but yet you are teaching us telephone etiquettes? Okay, I am. Let us see the reason. Students, phones have went too beyond from being a luxury to now becoming a necessity. Just like we need a tube light to illuminate or a fan so that we have air circulation, we need phones for n number of reasons. From being just a device to call someone or for oral communication, it has now become a device which is a necessity for each and every person. Even the vegetable vendors I visit, they have a smartphone, and You would be astonished, their phone is far better than mine. Okay, I'll upgrade it soon, do not worry about me. But students, the point I'm making is that phones nowadays are not only used for calling someone or using or just for the purpose of communication. They are used for the purpose of internet. You can just read newspapers in your phones. You use your phones to see time. Have you seen me with a watch? Have you seen your friends recently with a watch? No, because watch was a necessity until before very less amount of time. But right now, phone has everything. You want to make notes, you can do it in your phone. You want to improve your business, you want to expand your business, you can do it with your phone. You want to communicate with your long distance cousin or a long distance girlfriend, you can do with a telephone, that too a video call. Okay, so phones have become a very integral part of our lives, and that is why phones would be very useful to you in your business lives too. You would be astonished to know that I have more work groups in WhatsApp compared to my private groups. Okay, I think if I count, there would be more than 25 to 27 groups which I am using for work purpose. So students, it has now become a very important part of our lives, and that is why we need to understand telephone etiquettes. Telephones have one disadvantage. Disadvantage is that we have studied in much detail about non-verbal communication. The problem with telephones is that you cannot see the person physically. If you are reading a message or if you have called a person, we will not be talking about video calls here. A video call etiquette would be entirely an advanced topic. Right now we are talking only about the basic topic, which is a normal phone call or a message. Okay, students, in a message or a normal phone call, as you will not be able to see the other person, there are high amount of chances of misunderstanding. Let us take this example. Here the guy is asking about the train Rajdhani, but the other person thinks that he is asking about Rajdhani as the state capital, because you would be knowing that in Hindi, the state capital is known as Rajdhani. So he thinks that why is he asking about the capital? How would a capital move? How can a state move from one place to another? These types of misunderstandings are very common if you are using phone as a communication medium. To make sure that we minimize the misunderstandings, to make sure that we can put across our points very nicely even when talking on phones, we need to use something which is telephone etiquettes. Let us move forward and check out these etiquettes. First and foremost, let me explain to you what are the different etiquettes for the caller. If you call someone, what are the different etiquettes which you need to follow? Okay, let us see. First and foremost, students, when you call someone, start with a greeting. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever is the time of the day. According to that, you can greet the person first. I have read it at many places in telephone etiquettes. I do not know whether it should be followed very strongly or not. But yes, I have read it at many places that it's a very bad habit to call someone and start your conversation with a hello. Hello, I am Dhruvi. I want to talk to this. We all have this habit of speaking the word hello as soon as we call someone. Ideally, according to telephone etiquettes, it is considered to be bad manners. Do not start your conversation with a hello. Start your conversation with a greeting. Good afternoon, this is Dhruvi here. Can I talk to so and so person? It was easy, right? Okay. Moving on, what if someone whom you do not expect has picked up the call? Okay, there are different etiquettes if someone else picks up the call or your intended person picks up the call. What if the person who receives the call is not the intended person with whom you want to talk to? Then too, you need to follow certain etiquettes. Which are those? The first one says that, okay, obviously the person would keep you on hold. Be on hold very patiently. The person would tell you that they are transferring the line to the intended person, and that is why you need to stay on hold for some amount of time. Be on hold patiently and have the courtesy to tell the person that yes, it was very nice of them to transfer your call to someone else. Okay. Secondly, students, make sure that if they tell you that the person you want to talk to is unavailable to receive your call just now, you must not get frustrated or flush out your anger on the person who has received the call. Obviously, that person has nothing to do with the person who is not receiving your call or who is not available, right? So, if the person tells that the intended person is unavailable, then be courteous enough to tell the person your message if it is not too secret, or you can ask the person to call back whenever he or she is free. Okay, if you are asking for a call back, give a preferred time, that please tell the person to call me back at 5 o'clock, at 7 o'clock. Give the intended time whenever you are free. Okay, make sure that if you are given some message, you give that message very clearly. If you want that the other person doesn't call you, also state this clearly, that do not tell the person to call me back, I'll call at a later time. Okay, so whenever you get an apologetic message, make sure that you accept the apology and move further. Okay. Moving on, if you are kept on hold for a long amount of time, please do not get annoyed or frustrated. Okay, students, this happens with all of us. We get frustrated if we are kept on hold for a long amount of time. Do not get annoyed or frustrated, and do not give out your anger on that someone else who has received the call. At least he or she has received the call. Okay, so please do not get annoyed, do not make faces, do not talk rubbish, or do not go beyond the courtesies with the other person, because that other person is not at fault. Okay, there is a possibility that because the phone is being transferred to some another floor, or to the person who is busy right now, that is why it is taking long, right? So make sure that you do not get annoyed or very frustrated. Moving on, what if the person whom you wanted to call, the intended person, takes the call? What should you do? If the intended person takes the call, first and foremost, we all have this habit, we directly start talking. Many of my students call me and directly start telling that, ma'am, I have this doubt in this project. Ma'am, I have this doubt in this subject. Kindly solve this question for me. I have texted you a question. Please solve it immediately and send me. You must not do this. This is against telephone etiquettes. As soon as the receiver receives the call, and if the person is the intended person to whom you wanted to call, then ask him whether he or she has time to listen to you or not, and state the purpose. I am calling you to discuss about this project, and do you have time? If you have a tentative idea, also state that this might take 10 minutes. Do you have 10 minutes to talk to me? These are good telephone etiquettes. If you would have got calls from some call centers for credit cards or some feedback forms, you would be knowing this. They first call you and ask you that, is it good time to talk to you, sir? I want your feedback on the car you have recently purchased. Okay, can I talk to you right now? Will you be willing to give the feedback right now? Right? So as soon as the person picks up, state the time and purpose of your calling. Only if the person says he or she is free, go ahead with your conversation. Okay, one more thing. Do not, as you have called someone, do not hang that person for long amount of time. As you have called someone, you must be having all the information on hand ready with you to make sure that you can converse with the person smoothly. Say for example, you have called someone to ask some of the questions regarding the project. Then those questions must be written down with you, listed down with you. You cannot keep the person hanging that, okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll think for 5 minutes and respond you that which are other questions which are in my mind. Okay, you cannot let, obviously each one of us are busy. You cannot let the receiver being hanged for a long amount of time. No one likes being hanged for a long amount of time. Yes. So that is why make sure you have all the data ready. If you have called to get some data, to receive some data like the shipment number or the shipment ID for some product, okay, then obviously you wouldn't be able to remember the shipment ID or the shipment number by heart. That is why you would be needing a pen and paper. Be ready with the pen and paper. You should not tell to the receiver that okay, you tell me shipment number after some time, I'll go and fetch my pen and paper. Do not do this. It is very bad manners. Okay. One more thing, students, do not call from a noisy background. This is a very bad habit and it frustrates the receiver. You have made the call, which means you know that you want to talk to someone. If you want to talk to someone, move to more silent environment, move to a place from where communication is possible. Otherwise, receiver will find it very difficult to communicate with you, and as the person wouldn't be able to listen, the communication will become ineffective. So make sure that you go to a calm, silent place before you start this conversation or before you call someone. Okay, moving on. Last but not the least, before you place down the phone, make sure that you say thank you before disconnecting the phone, because someone has used their very precious time for you, listening to you, talking with you on phone. Thank them for their gesture, thank them for this conversation, and you can move forward. Okay, that's it for today, students. Thank you before ending the presentation. This is Dhruvi Bhatt signing off. Until next time, bye-bye.